Good morning, all of you. Today, we are going to discuss about the economic transition, in particular about LPG. LPG is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. We will discuss one by one. All three, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization, we will have a definition and what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages that we had, how the India have transited its position from early independence period up to 21st century. Let's start with the LPG. LPG means the economy of India had undergone significant policy shift in the beginning of 1990s. Why? Because liberalization policy was implemented in 1990. This new model of economic reform is commonly known as LPG or liberalization, privatization, and globalization model. So, the period that we are taken into account is from 1990. How India is transited in terms of economic growth and economic development. There are many reasons to adopt the LPG. Some of the reasons are the large and growing fiscal imbalances, because the gross fiscal deficit was up to 12.1% in GDP in 1991. So India is supposed to take some remedial measures. So for that, they have adopted the LPG. The second reason is growing inefficiency in the use of resources, and also the low foreign exchange reserve. It has been declined up to $1.2 billion in January 1991. Of course, the inflation rate is reached the double digit, especially during 1991. It is 13.87% of inflation rate. So all these things make Indian government to adapt a new policy, transferring the closed economy into the market economy. So the low annual growth rate of Indian economy stagnated around 3.5 from 1950 to 80s, while the per capita income is average 1.3%. So there are many economic indicators which makes the India to migrate from closed economy to the market economy. The best tool they decided is the liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Let's start with the liberalization. Liberalization refers to the relaxation of government restriction in the area of economic policy. Thus, when government liberalizes the trade, it means it has removed the tariffs, subsidies, and other restriction on the flow of goods and services between the countries. That is, when the government decided to liberalize the country, any country or a person or institution can invest in that particular country. There will be a free flow of goods and services, and everybody is allowed to do the business in their political territory. That is called liberalization. The fruits of the liberalization reached their peak in 2007 as far as India is concerned, when India recorded the highest GDP growth rate of 9%. With this, India has become the second fastest growing major economy in the world. And of course, it is next to China, because China is always, we are keep on chasing the China only. We are not able to overtake. But when we compare with the other countries of the world, India is considered to be the second fastest growing world next to China. The growth rate has slowed significantly in the first half of 2012 because of the European Commission have made some such thing, because the average growth rate is 7.5% only, will be double in the decade they planned. But unfortunately, because of certain economic reasons and other happenings in the world, rest of the world, India are not able to reach that much level. But comparatively, it is good. But more reform would be speed up the pace. But because of the political instability, we are not able to achieve the expected result. Then let's move to the privatization. It refers to the transfer of assets or services, functions from public to private ownership. That is, what are all the things the government is doing, they will allow private to do that same. So, giving more priority for the private ownership. We can make in another way the control and opening of closed area of private sector entry. That is, there are certain things which are coming under a public, it will be allowed to do the business through private ownership. The privatization can be achieved in many ways. There are many things are there. Some of them are we can franchise, we can give lease, or we can enter into a contract. All the capital market should be sufficiently developed to be able to observe the disinvested public sector charge. Suppose when the government find difficult to run a particular industrial unit and they are not able to do the business properly, it may be treated as sick unit, and investment is not in a right track, it is disinvestment. In those cases, the private can able to do the business in a better way because they are not social motive, they are profit motive. So the privatization have given hands to enhance the economic growth as well as economic development. For that only, privatization is encouraged. There are a list of advantages. I have mentioned some of the advantages. Yes. Number one, the privatization may help to revive the sick units which have become a liability to the government. The second best advantage of privatization is it helps the profit-making public sector units to modernize and diversify the business, because the government cannot adapt as it thinks because of the political and cultural restriction. But private people always encourage for modernization and diversify the business. So this is a major advantage of privatization. The thirdly, it helps to make the public sector unit more competitive. Without government financial backing, capital market and international market forces, the public sector be efficient, because the privatization is always give right path for the fair competition. So even the public sector will work well because they have to compete with the private people. And finally, it reduces the political influence of the decision making of the manager, because of the government, the ministers and other political parties, they may influence because of the political power. But once it is privatization is there, such kind of restriction or hurdles will not arise. So these are all the some of the advantages of the privatization. However, there are some disadvantages also, because the privatization encourages the monopoly. Once he does the business, he will have abnormal profit and he will try to cheat the public. The citizen of the country may suffer. Why? Because once he got the monopoly power, means he will control there will be a discrimination of price, all sort of disadvantage of monopoly market may arise. So the main disadvantages of privatization, it encourages a monopoly power in the hands of the big business houses. Thus, there will be a greater disparities of income and wealth. Secondly, the privatization may result in loop-sided development of industry. A particular area only will be developed and particular group of people will be developed, not wholly, because the law of equality fails. The third disadvantage is the limited sources of private individual cannot meet some of the vital tasks which may alter very character of the economy, because country geographically it's a very wide range of area coverage. So all the private people cannot supply the required product to the country. So for particular territory only they can able to do. So when it becomes the economies of scale, definitely the privatization, the private ownership find difficult to supply the required demand. The fourth one is the private sector may not uphold the principle of social justice and public welfare, because the government will is for the public, but private we cannot expect. They are profit motive only, they are not social motive. So these are all the some of the disadvantages of a privatization. But irrespective of that, there are very successful privatization was there. I have given some of the examples successful privatization in India. One is Lagan Jute Machinery Company Limited. This is guy, it has a turnover of 6 million in the year April to June. That particular quarter, they have made rupees 6 million, and post privatization nearly 24 million rupees you have in the second quarter. So this is the best example for privatization. Some more companies are there. The Modern Food Industry Limited, Pradeep Phosphate Limited, Bharat Aluminium Company Limited, and Hotel Corporation of India Limited, HCI. Then Hindustan Zinc Limited. These are all the successful privatization or private ownership which enhance the capital formation of India. Then let's move to the last part, that is globalization. Globalization is an increase of economic interdependence of a national economy across the world through a rapid increase in the cross-border movement of goods, services, technology, and capital. Suppose India want to globalize, it has to liberalize across the political territory. They have to do trade with a physical product, services, or technological know-how, or any capital goods. So they can invest anywhere and they can invite others to invest in India. So that is called globalization. It is a process in which draws countries out the insulation which makes them to join rest of the world. That is, we are ready to connect with the rest of the world, and it is the right path to move towards a new world economic order. That is why globalization is, we have to treat the world as a global village. That is, instead of restricting with the citizenship of a country, we are moving towards the citizenship of a world. So I have listed some of the advantages. Globalization of underdeveloped countries improves the efficiency of resources. The biggest problem of developing country is the optimum utilization of resources. Most of the developing country find difficult how to use their resources, but this globalization will help. It also reduces the capital output ratio because the resources are used, the manpower is used, and the productivity of the labor will be increased. There will be an inflow of capital, and definitely it will update the technological know-how. There will be more possibility of research and development activities which give boost of average growth rate of economy. So this is a very conducive one. Definitely, once we start globalization, we will utilize the resources optimally, and there will be reduce of capital output ratio because we can give less investment and we can get more output, and that will be increasing the labor productivity because more employment generation is possible. There will be an inflow of capital from other countries, and we can invest in the other countries. There will be a improvement in the technology. All these things will improve the average growth rate of the economy. Secondly, it restructures the production and trade pattern of the capital scarce and labor abundant economy. In certain country, there will be more resources. In certain country, there will be more manpower. But both countries not able to do the business properly. Once they got that free trade between them, and there will be a possibility of global policy, the excess labor will be used in the labor scarce country, and excess capital will be used in the capital scarce country. So there is a possibility of both labor intensive industries and capital intensive industry. Definitely it will increase the production. And third advantage is, with the entry of foreign competition and the removal of import tariff barriers, the domestic industry will subject to the price and quality improving effect in the domestic world. Suppose the foreigner is coming and doing the business, there will be a competition. So the local firm will try to provide a quality product with a moderate price. So that is also possible. So all indigenous industry will perform well. The efficiency of banking and financial sector will improve because there will be a international trade and there will be international transaction. So our financial system should be strong. So definitely both financial and non-financial sector will perform well. There will be a competition with the foreign capital and foreign banks. However, there are some disadvantages also is there. The globalization is helping the developed economy more than the developing country because they are already developed. They know how to handle the business globally. What are all the industries which are adverse to the environment and other pollution factors? They will do those business in the developing countries because of the economic power. So most the globalization always give more advantage for the developed countries, especially G8 countries, rather than the developing and the third world countries. This is a major disadvantage of the global, because rich become richer and poor become poorer. That problem definitely is there when we implement the globalization policy. Secondly, the multinational companies and Chinese goods will flood the market at a cheaper rate. There will be no take for local because of the Chinese market and other thing. The local firm find difficult to do the business and they have to close down. Even though the public may receive more product, the actual betterment of the local firm definitely will have adverse effect. The entry of MNC, multinational corporation, supermarket, hypermarket chains would cause severe displacement of small and unorganized shopkeepers and traders. Of course, it is happening now. None of the multinational company has set up in the manufacturing plant in India has signed any technology transfer agreement with the Indian company. See, they want Indian market only, but they don't want any Indians to improve. They are just dumping their product rather than they are not constructing a office in the India, because it is a developing country. If they set up a manufacturing plant in India, there will be employment generation, there will be a capital formation, all this may happen, but this is not happening actually. So these are all some of the advantages. The most important thing is there is a possibility on Section A question, which facilitate the globalization financially. Mean there are three international organizations. One is called IMF, International Monetary Fund. Second one is called IRVD, that is International Bank for Reconstruction, and IBRD. This is otherwise called World Bank. The third one is WTO, that is World Trade Organization. These three institutions will enhance the globalization. So with this, I am ending the class. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. Thank you.